accuracy. And what we're going to do is pillar bed the Seiko. Let me show you how. Pillar bedding is simply putting metal between the upper and lower points here and here, but most importantly here. Pillar bedding stops the lower and upper actions working loose on the wood, because they will compress the wood. Straight out of the factory where there's no pillar bedding and it's just wood, these are tightened up, the screws are tightened up, and they're fine for a while, but ultimately this will move very slightly in the stock, and that's what reduces the accuracy. And if you look, you can normally see some marks. This one's not too bad actually. You can normally see marks where it's moved, and it starts to remove some of the bluing as it rubs against the wood. So that's a surefire way, but in this instance it's not too bad at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to install in the stock two tubes, one there and one here, so when these are nipped up it won't compress the wood. It'll compress on the tubes, nip onto the wood, and it should improve accuracy. So that's stage one. So let's see how we get on. Now we've already made two pillars for this particular rifle. Bear in mind it's used, so the stock will have compressed some, so it's not as it was in the factory. So I've just made them to measure. All they are is very thick walled stainless steel tube. That's it. Two tubes. That's pillar bedding. Simple as that. Some people like to use brass, aluminium, doesn't matter. And what you essentially do is you make sure that they are precisely cut to length, so that they will sit in the rear and front of the retaining holes for the upper and lower action, and they will not protrude below and above the wood. As long as they're flush, that's fine, because they're going to be bedded with epoxy and nipped up gently. So they don't have to be below the surface, but certainly not above. So the rear one, pop it in there. Front one. They are a snug fit. So there's room to just see if I can show you here. See that? Nice snug fit. And there. Hopefully that's in focus. And on the bottom, again, nice snug fit. And that one there. Oh, that was just. The next stage is to key the tubes on the outside. So what we're wanting to do is to cut channels into them. Not all the way around. That would be a mistake, because you'll weaken the tube around its circumference and it will compress very easily. You've effectively created a very thin wall. So all I'm going to do is cut keys in there, and a few more here, and a few more there. That is all that's required. It's just enough for the epoxy to bed in and to allow it to key the tube to the epoxy and ultimately to the wood. That's it. And there you have it. Put keys on the longer of the two tubes. Hopefully you can see here some keys there, not cutting all the way through the tube though, and they're offset. So what I'm not doing is cutting a key all the way around to weaken the tube.